What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. In this video, I want to show you how to install cab lights on your truck without having to drill holes in the roof. So traditionally, the only way you can install cab lights is to drill about 15 or so holes in the roof of your truck, which obviously is risky because that can introduce water leaks. If your truck didn't come with cab lights from the factory, a lot of people don't want to do it that way. The only other option other than drilling is to get wireless cab lights, and those are not the best because they need either solar charging or you got to plug them in to charge, and depending on the time of the year, depending on the weather, you can't charge those lights that quickly. And also, if you park your truck in the shade or in a garage, then obviously you're not going to have any solar lights. So wireless lights are not ideal, and drilling is not ideal. So I was going back and forth. What do I do? You know, do I go with the wireless lights? Do I drill 15 holes, drop the headliner? And I was thinking, and I said to myself, maybe there's a different way to do it, an outside the box solution to hardwire cab lights without having to drill holes. So just so you guys are aware, if you don't know about this truck, this is Fred. He's my 2006 Silverado 2500 HD with the LBZ Duramax and Allison 1000 6-speed transmission, the legendary Duramax and Allison combo. I've done a lot of work to this truck. If you haven't seen my videos with this truck before, I recommend you check them out in my off-roading and truck playlist. So let me show you what kind of cab lights I used and my special trick. So I wanted to give you guys another look at the lights from a distance. So you can see these aren't the normal Chevy lights for the newer trucks. These are actually the cab lights for the 89 to 99 or 2000 Silverados. And so I thought these would look better than the round Chevy style, which has like that large central pod in the middle, kind of looks like a taxi cab sign. I prefer this traditional type of look, so I just use the lights from the old school 90s era Chevys. I really like the look of them. They're just right. They give it that old school look. I think they're just absolutely amazing. So let me get the ladder and show you guys a little bit better, and then I'm gonna turn these on at night for you. I have these wired to my Diode Dynamics D switch. So I can do a lot of different things with that D switch. I can dim it, I can make them brighter, I can do all different kinds of things. So right now they're at 30% of full brightness along with my marker lights here. So they're wired on the same circuit as my marker lights are, or my chicken lights, my authentic big rig chicken lights that go all the way around the truck on the fender flares, and also on the rockers. And then once I get my rear bumper back from powder coating, I'm gonna have some red lights back here as well, red watermelons. So let me get on the ladder and show you guys what I did here. So these are the cab lights, again, from the 90s era Silverados. I think it just looks amazing. I love that old school look. And that's kind of the look I was going for with this truck, kind of more old school. I think they look great. So first of all, you got to get your spacing right. So, you know, measuring these out properly is critical so they don't look crooked. And these are the DOT spacing patterns, so 3 in the middle and then 1 on either side. But essentially what I did was I pre-assembled these lights, and then I just ran the wire for them on the roof with some white vinyl tape, acrylic vinyl tape. I did have to touch up some spots with white electrical tape or white liquid electrical tape, because the vinyl tape, it's not like, you know, regular tape. It's kind of stiff. So there were a few spots where it didn't stick around the wires especially. But that's all I did, is I just got some ribbon wire, 22 gauge ribbon wire, which is really thin. And I just assembled the lights at home. I made this giant, you know, essentially wire harness with all the lights. I had to pre-measure the lights where I wanted to put them first. And then I just spliced into the main 22 gauge wire. And then what I did was I ran the wire down the passenger side of my windshield. You could also do it on the driver's side, but that's where my D switch is located, right there. So it's closer to the D switch. So I ran it down this way. I tucked it underneath the windshield trim. There's actually quite a big gap here. If you lift this up and you take a small flat screwdriver, you can tuck pretty large wires under here. There's probably like a 1/4 inch gap in there. Okay, but I used the 22 gauge wire just to be on the safe side. So basically I just came down with it, ran the wire here, and then I came in under the hood in the same location where my ditch lights come in. I did protect the wiring, and then ran it under the hood, and then just connected it right to the D switch. And this way I didn't have to drill anything. And I'll show you guys closer up how the acrylic tape is holding, but it's holding really nice and solid. I did use 3M automotive tape to stick the lights to the roof. And guys, 3M automotive tape is extremely strong. I actually have these stainless steel accents on the bumper here attached with just one strip of 3M tape. And you know, this is obviously a lot heavier than, you know, those lights. So it does look a little bit messy because I had to touch up with white liquid electrical tape around this area here. But basically the vinyl tape contains the wire, and this vinyl tape, it holds it real tight to the roof. And it's dirty because I was working with window weld to seal the base of the light, because these lights are designed to screw against the sheet metal of the roof, and that compresses the seals for all the weather seals in here. They're like rubber and they compress, but you know, if you're not drilling into sheet metal, I just took some window weld for windshield, and I just ran the window weld around the base. And I used a little bit of aluminum, and I cut the aluminum underneath. And then there's like a little strip of aluminum, or there's like a base plate made of aluminum sheet metal. And then that's where the window weld is between the light and the aluminum sheet metal. So the aluminum sheet metal is basically taking place of the roof. I use Chicago screws. Those are the, you know, flat screws, so this way I wouldn't have any screw tips sticking out. And then I just stacked some 3M tape to match the contour of the roof, and then I just pressed it all down, and that's pretty much it. Everything holds good. It does look a little messy. I haven't had a chance to clean everything up. You can see some of the window weld here stuck to the tape, you know, but I'll have to clean that up, no big deal. But I'm just going through now and liquid electrical taping some of the gaps here, because it was hard to run that vinyl tape close to the light here where the wire comes out from the back. And I am using last fit bulbs, so these bulbs are really bright and give a nice old school big rig glow. And you'll see that once we go out and test it out at night. I'll show you guys how it looks. It looks absolutely amazing. So I'll just show you how I ran the wire. So just came down with it right here, and then I used some marine shrink wrap. So that's a special, or not shrink wrap, heat shrink that has like adhesive. So when you heat it up, it's not just that the heat shrinks closes, but it also has actual glue. And I used like 2 layers of it at some points just to give a lot of protection to that thin 22 gauge ribbon wire. But I just went right under here, tucked it in, went down here. You can't see it, but I went down in there. And then here's the wire coming out. Just have it zip tied here to my ditch light wire, and then just right in under the hood. So no drilling required. There was a lot of measuring required. I had to measure everything out just to make sure that I had the wiring done properly. You know, because when you pre-assemble the wiring, you have to solder it all together, and so you got to also make sure you're soldering the wires at the right location on the main wire. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. You know, I'll just go through some of the parts you're gonna need. I mean, it probably cost me maybe $200 to $300 in parts, because I had to get the 5 light kit from Pacer Performance. I got the 5 light kit with the 5 lights. I had to get the 22 gauge ribbon wire. I had to get the white vinyl tape. I had to get what else? I had to get a fuse holder as well. I put a 3 amp fuse, even though the Diode Dynamics has an internal fuse. But because that 22 gauge ribbon wire is so thin, if I rely on the Diode Dynamics fuse, it goes up to 15 amps. That whole wire could burn up by that time. So I put a little 3 amp fuse. And then, you know, just a good couple hours of time to get everything right. I would say, you know, between wiring everything, measuring everything, it probably took me a good, you know, I would say 10 hours altogether, maybe even more, to wire everything, measure everything, and then install everything. So, all right, guys, so this is like the perfect filming light for filming any kind of lighting on a truck, because it's right before sunset, so it's dark enough where you can see the lights, but it's not too dark to where the lights are too bright and they wash out everything. So we're just about 30 minutes till sunset, and you can see the marker lights and the cab lights match color. I think they came out really good. I think it looks absolutely amazing. Super happy with how they turned out. Looks really clean, real professional. Check that out, guys. I think it looks absolutely amazing. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Still got to just do a little touch-up work with some of the white electrical tape, white liquid electrical tape, but otherwise I think they look perfect. Check that out. Absolutely amazing. Just give you guys a 360. I think it really brings the truck to completion as far as the marker lighting goes. It really gives it that big rig look, because we got the fender flares, we got the rockers, we got the bumper, soon the rear bumper, and it just ties it all together, having the lights on the roof. I think it just looks absolutely amazing. Then I'll take a video for you after dark. Check that out. Just looks perfect. You can actually still see the roof lights even from the rear, as you can see. Even from the rear you can see them. can't wait to do the rear lights on the new bumper once that comes back from powder coat. I'm getting an Illusion Blueberry powder coat. It's going to match those wheel rings. Yeah, I think it looks great. So I'll give you guys one more shot at night, but that's pretty much it. If you're going to be installing cab lights, I recommend you use my method so you don't have to drill any holes. Save yourself the aggravation, the stress, and a potential for leaks in the future, and just use my method here.